Yo, Black Men Vent. Yo, what's going on? BlackMenVent.com, BlackMenVent TV. What's going on? What's going on? We back here Thursday night. We back in the place to be. Once again, man, we got some topics for you. Once again, coming off the heels of the last show. If you haven't checked out the last show, oh my God, man. Well, too many logic bombs. Right. We got the big M and F in country. What up, dog?
Salud.
Yeah. That sounded a little bit Greek, a little bit
yeah, you gotta use a little
Pootie Tang. Was that the Greek version?
Stayed over there for a little while.
Yeah, brought back a little something, huh? That's what's up, man. And then we got my brother Alvin.
Alvin Lay.
Bro, what's going on with you?
I'm good, chilling.
Going on? Yeah, so you host the J Spot, right?
Yeah, I'm one of the co-hosts of the J Spot. We come on.
Ah, relations like us. Oh, that's cool, man. So what have y'all come up with so far, man?
In what regard?
Like
today, we
pressure.
Without everything that's going on in Hollywood, you have entertainers who you would think have the life, or living the American dream, taking their own life, leaving their loved ones behind to just deal with them breaking up their families. So we discussed that today. But yeah, we cover all topics. Anything you could think of over the last couple of years, I think we've covered in the show.
So, what is the biggest? Now we heard the stats already. What did you guys come up with? Is the biggest thing that us from being together? 70 black people, 70% Black women are single or never been married. I'm sorry, never been married. And what it is, it's got to be. They did that back in what, 2007? That was a
7-8 census, yeah, something like that.
That was the census in 2008. So have you guys talked about that, and what did you guys come up with?
We've talked about it in the past. One of the biggest things that comes to mind is mass incarceration.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what about it? What about?
You're dealing with a large number of Black males either in prison or in the public school system being reared towards going into
going to the system.
Into the system.
Oh yeah, and we talked about this too, man. From an angle that's not too popular, and why do this or racism that's contributing to the mass incarceration?
Systematic racism.
Systematic, as explain it to us.
You're looking at. I always tell people, we're not out of the effects of slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, and just being outside of everyday living, the necessities of everyday living.
Yeah, I think people get blinded by our fruits that we are able to enjoy, our day-to-day, what have you. I think people get blinded by that and don't really understand the boot heel that we are under. As Black men, I really can't say Black women, but as Black men, we under the boot heel, and a lot of people don't understand. I got a couple young kids at the job, and they just don't get it. And I'm like, man, you're a target every day. For somebody to lock you up or kill you, or you a target. Tear your life apart over, baby. I meant to send y'all that. Dude, baby was fresh. I'm talking when I say born. The chick was like, get out of the room.
Don't come back here. Yeah. I saw that too. Yeah, I saw that too.
Couldn't believe it.
So I don't want to go too far. I don't want to make the show about mass incarceration or racism or anything like that. But just to be the devil's advocate, do you not say us as a race, we do embrace a negative lifestyle in some regards or some respect?
In what regard?
And regards at, if you look at, let's say hip hop nowadays, the top people in hip hop, drug oriented, violence oriented. Okay, these things do.
Are you saying that negative lifestyles are being marketed to us as a people?
I mean, but it is us as a people marketing this to us as a people.
But you do know that we are not and are nowhere near the #1 consumers of hip hop music.
That's okay. And that's okay. We don't have to buy it. I don't.
Okay.
Well, I was about to incriminate myself, but but these are the role models. These are the people that our youth try to mock and emulate.
That's fine. But on a much larger scale, you have Caucasian kids who are the number one consumer of hip hop music. Are they too dealing with the same thing?
Let's talk about
with them being a larger consumer, then why aren't they being
let's talk about
taken advantage of?
What's the difference between
if what you're saying is true?
Okay. Yeah, what I'm saying is true. What I want to explore right now is the fact that if they are the largest consumers of hip hop, if they buying Future records too, hip hop and you know, doing all types of stuff, shoot somebody
in larger consumption.
You know what I'm saying? Why isn't it affecting them like it's affecting us? What is the difference between them and us?
What I've noticed,
what I'm kind of asking. Like,
well, the difference is family. Okay, there's people and other cultures that say, hey, this is fun and all that, but I don't want to catch you doing none of that. But in our culture, it's happening. They're reporting what they're rapping about is happening. It happened today. It's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen all week. And next week, every time it gets hot, about 30-something people going to get shot, but not in their neighborhood. Now, it's blacks pulling triggers on blacks, but whites ain't pulling triggers on whites like we are doing.
It's
There's no racism in between. If I hate you, you step on my Jordans and I shoot you. Where does
you're trying to blame that on hip hop?
No, I'm just saying.
No.
Media period influences people. Wrong or right?
I can agree with you there.
Okay. So when we were young, before they came out with color TV, you know, we had our role models in the entertainment industry. But the thing about us is our role models were kind of positive. Like me, it was like Public Enemy. It was Big Daddy Kane. All these people were kind of Muslim, but they were still speaking positivity. Now, when you hear about somebody saying, you know, we popping pills, we doing this, we doing that, and then you go outside and see the youth doing the same thing, you know what I'm saying? Where did they get? I never heard of no Molly or whatever until it was in a song. You know what I'm saying?
It's from what I see, I watch and I hate it. I talk to people about it all the time about the culture going abroad. It seemed like they still in the 80s everywhere else outside the United States when it comes to hip hop, and they embrace the culture and the country embraces the culture and they just let it be, man. It's people breakdancing and footworking over in Japan and Europe and all type of places. Right. It seemed like they embracing the culture. The difference that I feel from where hip hop was and is now is people talked about selling dope and doing a bunch of crime and all that stuff, but there was a repercussion in the message in the song. Now it's like, do it because you can do it and it's cool. Just the same way with
they don't talk about the consequences.
No, they don't talk about no consequence of that stuff. And it's the same thing with these strippers that's supposed to be treated like women now because they've made it out of the strip game or they've made it into some type of I don't know what you call it, but it's been televised and everything that you can be a hoe and it's cool. So that's all I see is hoes coming up. Now they're supposed to be treated like ladies. Dudes, it's okay. I don't see no positive message in no hip hop at all from all of the popular ones like Kendrick. I
appreciate it, Kendrick, for trying. Yeah. Man, but you know what? His last album, he tried and it didn't really catch fire, but his latest album, he kind of went back. And
if y'all ain't
never
heard,
Humble and DNA was dope. You know what I'm saying? It was a little bit harder edge, but a lot of people was like, yeah, pro-black. Yeah, that's what we're supposed to be doing. And he was the only one really doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Don't nobody know what that is.
But he didn't sell as many albums as he did with the gangster stuff that he just released, though.
Of course, the gangster stuff, the violent stuff, we're always going to sell, man. People want to be able to.
But I mean, the reason why I went into that is because we can't exempt ourselves. We do feed our children this music. These are black people recording this And
I still don't see the correlation because it's in hip hop music.
Well, think about it, like from the Klan's
it's the result that our children now from a media perspective, I can agree. Their images, information is being force fed to the youth through all media, but I can't centralize it on hip hop music, especially when you deal with drug use, because a lot of these children, take Chicago, for instance. We're not even going to deal with the country at this moment. Take Chicago. All of this violence and drug use and everything that children are dealing with today in Chicago has absolutely nothing to do with hip hop music.
Okay, I can.
You know, you're having a post-war syndrome of people dealing with being taken out of project systems and being thrown in different neighborhoods where different gang factions were, and people having to go to school under duress and just subpar living situations, and people just trying to cope and get through day to day when they don't even know if they're going to make it home the next day, and trying to self-medicate themselves through these systems that they've been placed in that were reared way above their station. That has nothing to do with hip hop. Hip hop is just the way they're expressing their living conditions.
Right, but
so the hip hop is an afterthought. The people who are consuming this and paying for this and making these albums go big are somewhere in the suburb, nowhere near this situation. That's where the whole Mali system comes from. So, like I say, I can't co-sign what you're saying in regards to this being fed through hip hop. Hip hop is the byproduct.
Gotti, Chief Keef, all of them retards, they ain't international stars. They don't. I'm not saying people can't rip their music off the internet.
What does anything being international have to do with it?
That's going on tours is a big thing as an artist, getting people to hear your music and all that stuff. But like I said, it ain't got nothing to do with ripping music or seeing it on YouTube or anything like that. But growing up on the South Side, when I came up, everybody had their outlet. Mine was music. I remember the NWA tape like it was today. I used to get beatings for playing.
Did you go shoot? Did you go shoot a cop?
Nah, I ain't shoot no police, but I had my fair share in a bunch of ignorance.
And that's what I'm saying.
But was the ignorance around before NWA?
It was.
Yeah,
but
it was. But the part I wanted to say was, okay, give it. Yeah, we have our outlets, and usually music, dancing, or some type of art is usually that. But music is usually a part of everybody's outlet, and our upbringing. That plays a big part in, back in the day. I can remember, I grew up on 35th, man, and I don't care where you lived, the house was, it was treated like it was a mansion. But nowadays,
even in the projects, people didn't know whether poverty didn't come into play. It was just your existence, and you enjoyed it. So it just was what it was. But again, I still don't see how.
Okay, and I will go ahead. Okay,
that's what I was saying.
I will connect it for you.
Even
check it out.
With international.
Check it out. This is how art imitates life. Life imitates art. It's a circle. Okay. Now there are things that you don't know. Okay, that are introduced to you in certain different ways. All right. Now. Today, if somebody says something about your mama, you're supposed to jump up and do something. I don't know. What I find out with the youth, because I work with the youth on the South Side and ex-offenders and TANF moms, okay? What I find out about our people the most is that nobody ever taught them. They never ever taught them, okay, you broke, this is how you make money without going to jail. Oh, okay, you hungry? This is how you make food. Okay, you dealing with some type of conflict? This is how you deal with conflict. Okay, now when your music is pumping in there like, oh, he said something about my mama, pop, and it's over. Oh, that sounded cold, man. So when we get in these situations, what are you supposed to do? everybody, if I say up here and say, how you get fired on your day off? Everybody knows, it's Friday. Ha ha ha, that's funny. That's a funny joke. All right, we got that from a certain piece of media that we can identify with. Okay, so when you're sitting in this situation where you got to sleep with all your worldly goods because your crackhead uncle will steal it from you, you know what I'm saying? When you hurting, you broke, and then you hear this rap coming on, it sounds good, okay, and it introduces to you options. Okay, don't let nobody do this. I ain't chasing no nothing. This and that. We got this. We having fun. Like today, I saw somebody posted some chick trying to get some money from a dude. She said on her Facebook profile, her name was blah blah blah, and under it, she's a boss at Gucci. Okay, where do you get that from? You know what I'm saying? And then she go in the DMs. He screenshotted. She was like, let me get $25. I'm hungry. Okay. What I see from today's youth is they don't know what's going on tomorrow, but they trying to live it up today. Nobody is rich at all in the least bit. And that means that you ain't nobody. You know who's somebody? These people who are rich. These people that's rapping to me, that's pushing these cars, that's getting these clothes and all of that. Anybody who is somebody, I'm nobody because I don't have nothing. All right. So now that sets up a conundrum or some type of situation. Well, what are you going to do? You don't have any money. Nobody taught you how to make any money. What are you going to do? This rap that just came on said, man, 25 to a 50, 55 to a 60, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to be down with that. I've had several young men seeing me doing well, pulling up, say, give me some game, put me on. I want to do that. You know what I'm saying? And I give them some advice, and they're like, nah, that ain't what I'm talking about. I want to take a pack over to somewhere and get money. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's ain't no fun and responsibility. We've said this 50 million
and
times.
The songs nowadays do not preach the consequence. They're not like, man, 6 months in the county jail. There's none of that. There's none of the bad part of this music going out. Just all of this catchy phrase, like back when we was young, it was stuff I'm trying to be a part of that. And that's how it goes. I'll never forget this one female who was tripping because she didn't understand. She was in the youth program. All right. She worked 2 weeks and she calculated her 178.
How did I know she was about to go there?
You know what I'm saying? Snap. She had Barbie in letters across her green 19 Sentra. No BS. Barbie, who says that? Nicki Minaj says that. Okay, you're poor. You don't have a job. You don't even know what taxes are about. But you know Barbie. And this is how media and influencing our people.
Did she say that's how she knew what Barbie was?
Well, where else is she gonna get it?
Barbie.
Barbie not making no albums, man. Barbie's toy for little kids.
Again, who said it came from music? That's the thing that I'm trying to figure out.
Because the number one person screaming Barbie at the time was Nicki Minaj.
So she grew up on Barbie.
I ain't seen the Barbie commercial. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
But you don't have an interest in that thing.
I watch TV. I'm a movie dude.
We know. Let's not be facetious.
I'm not trying to be facetious. Again, you're talking to me about things that systematically have been put in place before any of this stuff was even thought of.
Before Nicki Minaj, nobody was talking about being a Barbie.
What people in music today is byproducts of just stuff. It's reciprocal. I'm spending money. Yeah, now I can understand that you're saying kids want to know how to make money. Kids have not been taught commitment, responsibility, hard work, all of this stuff and again, that goes back to education. That's lack. And again, all this music is formed out of lack. It's right. Now what I will say, you have a large influx of young people that are technology savvy and they're out themselves. That is not the long road of education and hard work, but that's the one thing that music is being popularized to them about. Well, I'm gonna go sit up here and put a couple of words together, and I'm gonna figure out how to do this, or I'm gonna figure out how to do that. They're actually being more creative because the one thing that you can't say about these children is that they're not creative. They're going to figure out a way. But again, when it comes to drugs, someone has to show them how. You can't give me a song that on an instructional level teaching a child how to cook crack up or how to cook Molly up.
It's been a lot of people saying baking soda. I never cooked crack in my life, but I know it has something to do with boiling baking soda and cocaine.
You know it got something to do with it.
Yeah, but hold on. But it's not about teaching somebody exactly how to do it. But if you see some crack on the stove or you in the trap house, you're like, okay, then I know what this is. Okay, rather than being like, oh, what is that? I don't know what that is. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's not. Here's the thing. We're used to being in a lot of circles where a lot of illegal things been done, and we're like, hey, this is just us. We be out on the lake, somebody smoke something, somebody do something, you know what I'm saying? We like, okay then, man, this is how, but put that actual element in white suburbia and they're gonna go crazy. They're gonna call the cops. Okay, but okay. I'm saying we're desensitized to it.
When you speak Molly, this is neighborhoods that these are coming from. These kids are finding their way around it.
No.
Even more so, these kids are bringing these types of drugs into these hood places so they can party.
Here's the thing. But back in the day, we was just.
But again, music is still the byproduct.
We didn't mess with no pills. We didn't do none of that stuff until they start talking about.
Check this out.
You know what I'm saying?
Check this out.
I'm with you.
They was doing that crazy stuff.
I moved around.
We was like, man, I ain't going no farther than.
I moved around a lot because I was a bad kid. I can't even remember how many schools I done been to, but I moved around a lot. And I take it. It took me a long time. It took for me to get cultured to start understanding a couple things. The greatest thing and greatest event that has ever happened in my life was not from a black person. That got me to understand about being a man and telling the truth and being strong and having a backbone and all that stuff. It came from somebody that was not a black person.
Okay.
Natalie Cole is my cousin, basically. She married Reverend Yancey. That's my cousin. Okay. She married him. I didn't know that as much coke as she did. The lines that used to be running up that State Street and all that stuff. Robbins. I grew up in a bunch of area, but we don't have much when we grow up in the hood. We turn to music or whatever our craft is, whether it's dancing, some type of art or something like that. So it's influence. Ain't nothing but media influence now. You can ask a kid about an encyclopedia. They don't know what that is. They don't have no clue what that is. 70% of internet traffic is porn. That's absolutely insane. I just sent them a thing today about IQs are at a catastrophic low. So
nothing that you're saying speaks to it's coming from hip hop music. No. Everything you're saying speaks back to what I said. No.
It's coming. I feel it's coming from the way you are raised and whatever your influences are. If your outlet is to put on your headphones and listen to G Blurbo or Herbo, whatever his name is, or Thugger or any of them retards.
That stuff is.
If that's your getaway, putting them headphones is. No. I don't know if you've seen the studies about putting headphones on your head.
You're talking about escape. You're talking about escape.
Okay,
but again, you can't give me any data that speaks to the specifics.
I give it to you. I give it to you right now.
Okay.
When you're born, do you know anything? How do we learn? How do we learn the job? Repetitive behavior. So if I'm repetitively listening to Gucci talking about flipping birds, at a couple of them songs, he tells you how to make dope. He tells you how to slip chicks Molly. He tells you how to make Molly. He tells you how his life has been.
No.
What?
No. I'm a Gucci fan. I heard every song. I know the songs in question you're speaking of.
What kind of drugs you like?
There's science. You heard that song? There's science There's science that goes into making the drug. Just because I didn't tell you that there was science involved.
I get that part. That don't mean ain't nobody gonna go
try
it.
There's a specific again.
Would you say Gucci has a culture?
Again, like
what do these people in this culture practice?
Rapping. Yeah, rapping.
You heard what kind of drugs you like, though, right?
Again, but what you're saying is,
the man
I sat here there. I could go online right now and I could put a Gucci song on, and it will tell me exactly how I need to make drugs.
That's not the point.
Okay,
the point
I don't
is that
kill myself.
This media,
I don't build my house up, and I can go outside and sell.
I've never heard a song that gives you instruction on how
they can't do
to
that.
prevent from going to jail or prevent anything. All I've heard was this is how you become successful.
But you have
everything has been shown.
No, hold on.
Everything is being shown to be somebody. You have to have dope.
I don't even want to disagree with you guys. I want to rock with you on this subject because
we missing points here. Like you bringing up like exactly how to do killing, how to make drugs, how to do. That's not it. My point is that when we hear these things, become desensitized to them, and it's okay for them.
Yeah.
Okay, it's this. You know what I'm saying? When you introduce this to a home that has two parents in it, they're on him. They make enough money to send him to private school, and don't you dare. And you going to college, you're doing this. When you put this type of media into a home where there's only one parent and she's at work most of the time, and he's staying at home with iron, he want to make the girls like him or whatever. So he introduced to a whole nother culture that everybody thinks is cool. All right. And that's my only point to this. It's not, this is what we were talking about initially. Why doesn't any other culture who listens to hip hop turn to selling dope and get mass incarcerated or something like that? Because other cultures don't embrace jail. Other cultures don't embrace drug abuse. Like we're sitting up here, Molly Percocet. They like, what? No way. And we like, oh, it's a good song. The beat nice. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm a victim of that, but I don't have anybody.
This is where I could, because like I said, I want to rock with you guys. This is where I can fit in with you guys. Because all of this fits inside the prison industrial complex. Education. Mm-hmm. Access to information, being reared so that you're more than likely to be riding around with some substance that can get you locked up, whether it be a firearm or it be a drug, or you being disenfranchised so much to the point where you could run out, pull a pistol on someone or commit a robbery. All of this stuff is designed to fit you in jail. The access to music, the type of music that you have, speaking to this type of culture, again, placing music as the byproduct of versus the tutorial for, all of this is subject to land you inside of the prison system complex. So
do we have a choice?
There, but again,
there's always a choice.
You're on socioeconomics, you're on education, like none of that has. You're putting the cart before the horse. If you're saying this is how people are being introduced.
I'm not blaming.
It's not solely on hip hop. It's part of the ordeal.
If our homes, if our communities were stronger.
This is what you sound like to me. You sound like a let's call him a Republican. Let's call him a Republican. And I'm using this as the excuse, but that's a scapegoat because that has nothing to do with what's really going on.
That's not part of the problem.
It's not. You're talking about something that is a byproduct of a system that is in place and been in place for years.
I get that.
Again, I remember when my homeboy's cousin gave me a bunch of stacks of weed and said, go sell this. No music was playing. I remember when my homeboy sat up, and because there was no money at home, and his adoptive mother was taking the money she was getting from the state, and he sat down with his homeboys and said, we gonna go rob this Ponderosa, and this is what we do. You go get a job at McDonald's, you go get a job at Ponderosa, you go get a job over at KFC. You learn the system on the inside, and we gonna go rob these joints. Mm-hmm. I've been around this. I lived on a block where I've seen shootout. I remember when gangs came on my block talking about who they were going to take out, and my old man came out lighting the block up like, no, not over here,
where
homie.
did that come from?
None of it had anything to do with music.
Where it come from?
None of it had. Again, we go back into the system I'm telling you that was in place before these kids were born.
I get that
None
part.
of this has anything to do with music.
Being done way before hip hop.
So,
yeah, gangs been here way before.
Let me ask you about what Kanye said about having the choice.
Having the choice of what?
You ain't got no choice.
You talking about a doped up dude?
Nah, that's not. I'm not talking about his mental. I'm just asking about the question. So you ain't got a choice?
Are you saying
if a system is put in place,
mm-hmm.
It's still being proven today. People right now will go and blow themselves up for whatever they believe because that's what they believe. They made a choice. Mm-hmm. So you mean to tell me
no, they're not making a choice. Based on what you're fixing your mouth to say right now, no, they're not making a choice, because systematically in front of them, the poverty they dealt with is put them in a place where you only got a limited amount of choices because you don't have rational thinking.
So what about the people that came out of that?
By design, you were not giving that.
So what about the people that came out of that? They had a choice.
Given.
Yeah. What do you mean?
The people that came out of that,
the byproduct of that, the people who are now the byproduct of that.
It's people that came out of the elements.
Yeah, black people came out.
Who made it?
Barack Obama.
Who did not let that system hold them back.
Right.
Yeah, but
so you got a choice.
But now you said
if that was the case,
Barack Obama came up in the system outside of that.
What system?
Was he not? He wasn't going to
bring Jay into it. Come on now.
Who?
I said bring Jay into it. He's a half a billionaire right now.
Okay, you're talking about now again. This is a person who used them to get out of it.
Okay,
he'll even tell you, drug selling was his job. Hip hop was his hustle.
I get that part.
What are you talking about?
He brought up
Jay-Z.
So when it became too hot for on the streets, when his friends started getting locked up, let me go figure this out so I don't have to be here, because my only two options are death or prison.
So did he come out of it though?
Yeah, that's my whole point. He got out of it.
It's a choice.
And again, you're further speaking into what I'm saying, that hip hop is the byproduct.
I think it's reciprocal. I think that people who don't
I want to
get it from it. Hold on. Let me finish that point.
I want to help your point.
Art imitates life. Life imitates art. It's a circle. Okay. And can we agree on that?
Yeah.
All right. I'm not saying that people been robbing, stealing, and pimping way before hip hop started. Okay. The system to put these people in jail has been there way before hip hop was started. Okay. Mm-hmm. But now when it comes, I think that hip hop just
even hip hop itself. This is what you left me with. I am going to take the intestines of this swine and do something and feed my family with it. That's all hip hop is. Even for your Chief Keefs. You even look at him.
So you say
I'm taking what y'all left me. There's nothing that you left me.
Okay, so right now, sitting around listening to Chief Keef smoking and doing all types of stuff, think about the next person they're going to shoot. Yeah. I don't know who that is. But anyway, we got to move on, man.
Okay,
check it out. We're going to get into this. I'm glad that you have a show also with speaking about hip hop.
J Spots every Thursday, 5 to 7. Tune in.
5 to 7, IntellectualRadio.com. Here, I'm going to give you one of these right here so you can read along with us.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is a post that we received this week about basically the situation between black men and black women right now and the disconnect. I don't know if you guys remember a couple weeks ago, there was a big stir about Donald Glover having a white baby mama. Donald Glover, for those who don't know, starred in Star Wars.
Yeah, Left Foot Jones.
That's what you call him. The Star Wars movie Solo as Lando. He has Childish Gambino, and he has a lot of songs. He just came out with a new song, "This Is America," which was a big statement. And it seemed like he got a big buzz about it, because of that. And a lot of people responded to that buzz because his baby mama is white. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of friction on the black Twitter or whatever.
The question came up about how can he be pro black while married to a white woman?
Right. Have you guys ever talked about this?
I don't think we got into it.
I just killed it.
What?
The greatest thing that ever happened to me wasn't from a black person.
Okay. So. You're gonna have to tie that in. I'm gonna go ahead and read this right here, and then we're gonna get you guys' thought. Okay, it's kind of cut off right here, but basically the sentence before this, I can only guess, is that you don't date black women and you choose to date non-black women. But this guy is saying, but it's like they ain't gonna force themselves to be attracted to black men who they consider lames. All the black men they put in the friend zone, they always say they can't force themselves to be attracted to them. So why should you force yourself to date a black woman who doesn't want to F with you? That's their character flaw, not yours. It's not your fault that black women don't want to date you. And I'm paraphrasing a lot because he's got expletives in here. All right. And then you point out that it's them not wanting to date with geeky or nerdy or weirdo black men, not the other way around, that they don't want to date them. They type up sneak dissing articles. Okay. And this is in kind of in reference to what we were just talking about with Donald Glover. You know what I'm saying? And when they found out that remember Michael B. Jordan, when they found out that he dated white women, they wanted to boycott Black Panther. Okay. It's almost like they're telling you that if they don't date you, then you need to stay in a dungeon and don't be happy, or be happy in a dungeon and don't complain. Don't even have discussions about them not finding you attractive. They're up on social media complaining about the quality of men they choose. And since they ain't choosing you, you're finding happiness elsewhere and telling other black men like you, hey, happiness is over here. And they have a problem with it. I've had black men tell me that they didn't avoid black women. Black women avoided them. And they only got play from women who were non-black. Ain't nobody trying to play the needle in the haystack with women. You don't spend years of your life going to school being told black men ain't ish and they need to get it together, only to get it together, make something of yourself, and the quality of available black women is damn near non-existent. They really imply that the quality of women was top notch, and then told you weren't owed anything and you don't own them, while acting like they own you and trying to police the women you can date. Be happy, brothers. Do what you want. It's definitely not you, it's them. While you got your stuff together, your standards have evolved, while their standards let us know they are full of ish. And that is from SSM. Thoughts? What does that sound like? You guys are speechless.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. I don't see no, I believe that's correct. Okay.
I mean, but why is this
a person's perspective? Okay.
Is that the general consensus of what is going on now? Because I know, are you on Facebook? You have your own Facebook? Okay. So I know you see the complaints going up and down your wall every day about how, advice from women on how to date and how black men ain't nothing, or is black women saying that men ain't nothing, but we know it's implying they're talking about us. All right. And how do you feel about how when Michael B. Jordan came out as interracially dating, when we found out Donald Glover dating, then they automatically started hating him when you know that they would not ever give Donald Glover or and for whatever reason, they don't have game, they're not tall enough, they're not attractive, blah, blah, blah. Okay. How do you feel about the women who feel like they need to boycott Black Panther? How do you feel about the women who are like, we're not buying any Childish Gambinos or supporting that man because he decided to date outside of his race?
I don't feel any way of it's information. I can't individualize that on any one given Black woman. I don't even know it's social media, so I don't even know if it's a Black woman who writing that post.
No, this actually was a Black man. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying in regards to women saying they won't support these two individuals, or even if a Black male says he won't support this individual, I'm looking at someone who's affected by their shortcomings.
Just one person?
Any one person. It could be 100 people who are writing some things about why, like when all the women started reposting the comment about Donald Glover that asked the question, can you be pro-Black while being with a white woman? Mm-hmm. That individual is just fueling a flame that they really don't even care about, because they didn't care about that individual who posted it. Yeah. Because 9 times out of 10, they didn't even comment in the comments. They
just set the fire and ran.
Yeah, and that's all that they did. And other people are commenting, and now you're feeding into another person's frustration because they don't have a man.
But if you relate, you're gonna like it, co-sign it to tell your part of the story. This stuff, what he's talking about, a lot of people can relate to. Okay, subcultures of Black men, since that's what we're talking about. Grab me
a water, please. Thanks.
And so these subcultures of Black men, pretty much, and including myself, co-sign with this. Okay, so doubting the source or whatever, we cannot sit here and deny that this doesn't have something to do with interaction between Black men and Black women. Okay, I understand what he's saying. You can't sit up here and tell me that they haven't told us that, we don't mess with weirdo guys, nerds, geeks, people who are not the masculine, super whatever that they about no masculine. Like, I don't know, what are thugs, bad boys, the cool guys, the guys in high school with cars or whatever, I don't know. But these guys like Childish Gambino, Michael B. Jordan, they come from can you name some other people that
from what?
That just date outside of their race, that they have not found a home inside of their race, so they got in where they fit in, so to speak?
I don't think that fits either one of these gentlemen, simply because Michael B. Jordan grew up, even though I grew up in New Jersey, he had access to different types of dynamics that exposed him. Not everybody does.
We all do. Yeah, I have a friend that never left. I remember the day when we took him off the West Side. He had never left his block over in K-Town. And I live out in the suburbs now. And that man flipped his wig when we took him from over there. And he was like, it ain't just this far. Most people don't understand.
Right.
Your little 3-5 blocks that you live on, it's a whole bunch of stuff outside that. So you have access to a bunch of stuff.
No.
You just need to be told that.
And again, even if it's systematic, even if it's inside of a person's mind, all I go is these few blocks. This is all that I know, or this is just that I know. This is all that I know. I'm not even concerned. I remember a time when you used to have people who were scared to leave their side of town and go into downtown. Mm-hmm. I don't want no parts of that. Mm-hmm. talking about two Black individuals who had access to things outside of just their race.
We all have access.
The rapper ASAP Rocky comes to mind. White women are his playground. Because he can do and be and live any kind of way he wants, and he can subject them to any type of thing he wants to. And because it's the culture that he's inside of, that a lot of his influence is fueled by at this point. This is my norm, but it doesn't speak to whether or not he does or does not like Black women or only dates Black women. It's just that I have access. Everything you're talking about harkens me back to when I was in the military. Yeah. When I was in the military, I grew up in the early 90s, so everything was still Black. I'm Black, y'all. I'm blacker than Black. I'm Black, y'all.
We grew up in the same time.
And everybody militant, and everybody's pro-Black, and everybody reading the spook who sat by the door, and all this information. I'm
because of hip hop, right?
I'm post X-Clan, or just
it was
culture.
Hip hop that taught us that.
Just the culture of it, not the music, but the culture. Yeah. Because now you're in this 5%ers, and you're getting all of this information. Right. The way it's
from hip hop
now, but this is where I can speak to through hip hop. Hip hop was the medium. We controlled the medium at that point. But so it was a delivery system. I remember the first time I went to California, and I'm like, hey, all right, I got to go to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. I got to go to Compton.
Right. Yeah.
Why? Because hip hop relayed these messages to me. It's a different culture now. In that
still the same message.
I mean, it's still a message, but you would get into,
you guys agree with me. But again,
Michael B.
Right. And so these gentlemen have access to cultures. Like I was saying, when I was in the military, I had to go to Bath, Maine. One of the most widest.
What you doing?
Places.
I'm about to say, what you doing around the world? That's a serial killer capital.
Yeah. So I was on the very first Aegis class destroyer. They had to do some work to it, so it had to go into the shipyard. So while it was in the shipyard, they got us hotels in Maine. Half of us got into this high-end hotel downtown Bath. The rest of us was way across town in what you would consider the hood, in this like Super 8 or something. And so, and we would always, we in the projects, and it's that type of culture. Like, we outside blasting
projects
music.
in Maine.
No, we called the hotel the project because it was a less than desirable hotel compared to the high end hotel that everybody else was downtown in. We were the oddity, but we were treated like rock stars by the young white women in town. Because military culture is, most of the bases are in these small to nowhere towns, and you always have these women who are looking to get out. And their best way to get out is through a man. And so, women would cook for us. They would do our laundry. They would come over to our hotel rooms and clean up. They would bring us liquor. They would, anything we could run through them and their friends sexually. So we could do all of this. So from that existence, and not even just that existence, but that existence alone, I can understand what happens when you take a boy out of whatever his hood environment is and place him into a playground where he not only has access, but he has access through the amount of money that he has in his system. I can do anything that I want, and you will allow me to do any and everything I want to you. I'm a run through this town like it's nothing. Take California.
not to interrupt you, but in order to want to do that, you have to have some type of personality deficiency yourself, right?
Not necessarily.
I mean, it's not cool to just,
So everybody a puppet?
you can't just
It's
run
not-
through
it's
everybody and think that's cool,
No,
man.
I take a child. I give him more than enough money to buy anything he wants.
Mhm.
I put him in front of women who will give him any access to anything he wants. What is he going to do?
Okay, let me ask you
Okay.
this then.
A child, but how about
Okay.
a grown man?
Even a grown man. Here, let's put it like
These
this.
are guys that
I mean, it depends on what's really important.
Okay,
man,
let's
right?
put it like this, because
I mean, I can understand
fight this all the
conquest
time.
when you were a young man.
Oh,
But I get that
and
part
I'll
too.
finish it for your point, because then I'll speak to me
Uh-huh.
in that environment, because I was in that environment. But go ahead, ask your
But
question.
let's say Silver Spoon kid.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't none of us perfect. We all gonna make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm giving you 50 million joules, all the type of knowledge, you're still gonna go out there and make your mistakes. Are you gonna make the same mistakes as somebody that was never told? You're not gonna make.
But again,
It's not gonna be to that magnitude.
But again, that's access. That's access.
But
But when you have access, you have to have discipline. You could, if I gave you access today, would you go wild like you did back in Maine?
Okay. But again,
If I gave you $100,000
you
right
don't know.
now,
I never spoke to what I did in Maine.
no, I'm just
I
saying.
spoke to the culture.
Right,
I never
the culture.
spoke to what I
But
did
today,
in Maine.
if I gave you $100,000 right now,
say 100 million,
it don't matter.
100,000 ain't nothing.
But it's a lot to me.
the amount
It's
of
a lot to a lot of people.
It's all subjective. The amount doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
but let's just say you had access to 100 million. I don't care. Okay, you can do whatever you want to do, whoever you want to do.
Because again, you could give a kid enough to go and rent a hotel room and enough to buy a bunch of liquor, and they'll go grab a hotel room and invite over whoever they can, and they'll do what they can, because again, so the amount, whether it's $1 million
We're talking kids
or
again, but this
$100,000,
is we're talking Michael B.
That's where it stems from.
at this
And-
point, he's a young adult, but again, he had to get to this point, so he's not that far out of childhood.
Okay.
And again, when
So
I
you're saying
when
the
I see a
thing, the
21-year-old
point of it is that
young
you
man, I
can
see a
do whatever
kid.
you want to do to white
Say-
women. Is that what the connection is here?
No, what I'm saying is you're in an environment where you can play on a level that most people have not had access to.
Okay, these were just examples, but the guy who wrote this, everyday guy just like us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So where does he get his motivation to write this post? I mean, and who are the type of people who are co-signing this? Because this is almost went viral. You know what I'm saying?
You can't turn a blind eye to it. It's 50 million dudes that are coming out talking about their experiences and dealing with women, period, let alone black women.
Mm-hmm.
You can't turn a blind eye to it. It ain't a unicorn. It's happening, and it happens for a reason.
What happens for a reason?
The treatment.
The treatment of black women?
The treatment from black women.
The treatment from black women.
Right.
Example. I guess this will speak to what you guys are trying to say. Uncle of mine. One of the coolest guys I know.
Mm-hmm.
Stop dating black women. And again, I'm just coming home, militant-minded Alvin. And he's showing me all his toys that he got from a white woman that he dates. Yeah, she caking me up. Again, me coming out of the cultures and the experiences that I have, I'm like, you still an N-word.
Right. I already get that part.
You know, you still an N-word.
I mean, to somebody else, I'm calling you that, but you don't have to be one if you don't want to.
That's totally different thing.
Okay, yeah. What I'm saying, I am who I am.
What I'm saying to him is,
Uh-huh.
I don't care what she buys you
Mm-hmm.
or lets you play with. That's hers. You're still an N-word to her. Coming out of my experiences, because again, like I said, I've been given access to types of women who will do anything for me.
Uh-huh.
You're still an N-word to her.
How about
He told me, nah, she different. No, piss off. Wait, when you piss off, come back and talk to me. Sure enough, I don't even remember at this point what she did, because the toys were never really his, and he's older than me. Mm-hmm. The toys were never really his. As soon as he upset her, first thing he was an N-word, and all the toys went back.
Of course, that's in every culture. But
because of the access that he had versus the access that I had,
now he
thought he was on top of the mountain.
He got a better perspective now
because she showed him who he was and she was.
So how about if let's just say she was black and he's still an N-word and she still took away the stuff.
And again, this is
so it matters to you who calls him the N-word.
No, it's the N-word thing doesn't matter. How he got there was from a strong-willed, strong-minded, say what she wants to say. Here, you're going to hear what I have to say.
In contrast, I know people. I know people who interracially date, and the reason why he was telling you this and saying this is because she was of another race or a culture, right?
Because she gave him a different experience than he received from a particular black woman.
And just one, he only dated one black woman.
No, he's dated more black women. But again, you're basing it off of these black women, and you're limiting your perspective. You're based on these selection of black women that you were with. Mm-hmm. You cast that cape over all black women. All black women are like this.
Let me ask you this, since we've been sitting here talking about all this. Mm-hmm. The condition of the black culture, why is it in the state that it's in? And let's take the white people out, because everybody got a choice.
Can't take the white people out.
No, you got to take the white people out. Here, put it. I say this because, and I'm always looking for different perspectives.
The thing you're trying to take out, that you can never take out, is the systematic injustice that has been put in place.
I already get the systematic injustice.
To this day, I sit and talk to black women all the time, and all I see is slavery. One of the Q&As I did over the weekend, and we were talking about relationships and women wanting the guy to only be with one woman and be this way and be that way. And the thing that I told him was, you guys are still performing off of a slave mentality.
Okay, I get that.
Wait a minute.
So again, how the condition that the black community is in, you still think it's just you could take slavery 100% out of this.
No.
Here's the thing about it.
But I'm gonna hit your side.
Here's my side. Then thank you for that, because a lot of people online don't want to hear my side, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just like, no. This is the excuse that we committed to, and this is where we're gonna go into the future with it. In the 50s and 60s, the black family was together.
So all right. Like Wall Street was fumbling, right?
It was 80% black women was married. It was weird if you wasn't married, if you didn't go for a family. Now, fast forward to now.
Why?
It is absolutely the other way around. I'll tell you why.
It's actually going back now, where really
80% of black children come from a single parenthood home right now. At this very moment,
my son showed me this.
Are you married?
No, never been married.
Okay.
I come from a two-parent. household. We come from a two-parent household too. But now that you know the statistic that 80% of our black children's coming from single-parent household, this is drastically the opposite of what was happening in the 50s and 60s. This was after slavery. So obviously we got things together back in the 50s and 60s. It was something else that drove us to this point now. Again, but when you say 50s and 60s and majority of the families were married, I ask you why. And if you answer that question, you'll understand why did you have so many married families?
Because this is a tradition.
No,
this is how family is started. No,
so
people wasn't getting married for family.
What are you coming out of? What are you coming out of in order for this to be a tradition?
What do you mean?
People didn't have to get married.
You're saying in the
50s
and 60s, because of tradition, which means before the 50s and 60s.
Okay.
This was a precedent.
Okay. Even in slavery, it was values jumping out of the broom, right?
It's not even about morals and values.
So everybody operates off on whatever they was, just a dream book and a fortune teller. I don't understand.
Again, going back to slavery, why did slaves get married?
What are you talking about? I don't even think they got married.
Yeah,
they got married when they
got married.
They did
because they loved each other and they wanted to make family.
Because this is what we're talking to. We're talking when you talk.
You're talking about slaves
loved each other and they wanted to have family.
50s and 60s. You're talking post. What happened in the 20s?
Prohibition. What?
You're talking post prohibition. Before that, you're talking slavery. This is so when you're saying in the 50s and 60s and you're trying to insert tradition into place, you're talking slavery.
Okay.
You're talking segregation and you're talking
people was getting married all over the world though.
Okay, I get that part. I understand what you're saying.
We're talking about
I don't understand.
Okay,
black people aren't from over the world. Black people are from here because they were snatched away from where
they wasn't getting married in Africa.
So
why did they get married in Africa?
400 years of slavery.
The same reason they got married in Africa is the reason why they got married here.
You can't even talk Africa because you have 400 years of slavery.
It's not 400 years of slavery.
200.
No,
295.
That's a half.
Thank you.
Something like that.
No. It's 295 till today. Today slavery did not exist.
So you have multiple generations in place.
Okay.
Why were people in slavery getting married?
Okay, I get that.
Okay. The same reason they were getting married in Africa.
Or a version of jumping the broom.
They weren't even allowed to get married. What do you mean?
And yet and still
families
they
were spoiled in slavery.
And yet and still they were.
So they weren't getting married because of they weren't sneaking and getting married, risking their life.
Why were they sneaking and getting married to risk their life? Why?
Tell us. I want to know.
They were trying to hold on to those cultural things that you say that are from Africa, the bits and pieces that I have to humanize themselves because they were being raped and pillaged through.
Okay, I get that part.
So time out. It wasn't because they was in love and they wanted to have children and stuff.
That's part of it. I get that part.
That's the reason why most people get married.
The reason, what I'm not understanding is all of these abilities.
So they were forced
and everything
to get married
that we are afforded to today.
I'm trying to understand this part. I need to understand.
They weren't being forced to get married. They were doing their version of marriage to hold on to identity. So is again a system that was culturally based here or put in place white people, these business constructs that people were doing so they can have access. It had nothing. To do with
people was getting married all over the world. So not just here.
No, I'm not saying people weren't getting married all over the world. What I'm saying, I'm talking about black people. When you talk about black people, the people.
Let's talk about black people in the 50s and
60s. When they drop the hammer and say black people got to go back to where they come from. Where do black people go? Where can black people go?
That's tangent. But here's the reason why black people in the 50s and 60s was getting married, to cultivate family. Period, point blank. Two people got together, they love each other, they're gonna make it together. Okay, we can do it, we courting each other, we making it, we getting out of there. All right. Regardless of what slavery did to us before, it brought us together better now. Okay. We are a nation and we're trying to build it up through family and tradition now. Okay. All right. It's not, my grandparents say we used to, identify ourselves and keep stuff from Africa coming. They was like, no, we loved each other. We wanted to start this family. I had a farm. My great grandfather, may he rest in peace, he had a farm and he went ahead and cultivated his family. He's proud of that. Okay. But fast forward to now, there is no family. Families are fragmented. Most of our children come from single parent homes. What we have to come to grips from, this is not the man that brought this into fruition. This was feminism. The one system that came in and said, you don't need a man. You don't need family. What you cooking and cleaning in the kitchen, you could be a secretary. Okay. And that has transitioned into what we're dealing with now. Okay. So back then, women had to get married. Here's one reason why a lot of women got married back in the day. There was not a lot of opportunity for women back in the day. They could not go out and make a living by themselves. There was not welfare out there yet. There was not a lot. There was no safety net. So you had to get with a dude. Now, these women stayed with their parents and they were extra mouth to feed. This is where courting came in and dating. Are you worthy enough for my daughter? You're not going to go ahead and get the milk for free. Okay. So they get married. They come together. They have Mary's Mister. You know what I'm saying? And we're into that era now. Okay.
So you agree with the statement that I made?
And that statement is exactly, sir.
Before you said they were getting married because of love.
That's part of it.
That's part of it.
You just said because of these systems, this is what we have to do.
That's what everybody was doing. White women was doing the same thing.
I'm not saying that they weren't.
So okay, I don't understand.
You made it. You tried to make it seem like we're going to build this family because of love. We're getting together solely because of love.
I mean, that's why
if you're risking your life, there gotta be love.
Society in general, this is what
back then. If you're risking your life to get married and you ain't supposed to get married, it gotta be for love.
Now we're in our 50s and 60s.
50s and 60s. We have
you're post-slavery.
We're post-slavery,
but the constructs of Jim Crow and all that other stuff is still in place.
Yeah,
right.
Okay, yeah, that had a big factor, but the thing, we're still dealing with things today who are targeting the black community, right?
Which is what I
only difference, the only difference is between today and yesterday, we don't have families today. We don't have the defense to deal with it today, and slavery is not the reason for that. It's feminism. It's the thing that came in and said, look, you don't have to have a man in the house. Okay. Choose between this money or this man. And that was welfare. Okay. So now that women can go to work and pay their own rent and do that, all of that, the selection of man doesn't have to be a good one. It could be whatever they want. Okay. That has nothing to do with slavery. That has to deal with choice now. Women can choose now. They don't marry the Harpo, you know what I'm saying? Because he got his own juke joint. You know what I'm saying? They can do whatever they want.
But again, and this is where all of this rolls all the way back to slavery. I don't lose this thought. You're saying that you're trying to blame this on feminism, but then you take it off of feminism because when you're dealing with the government and saying, okay, we're going to put you on Section 8, but man can't live here. That's not feminism.
Yeah, it's feminism.
No,
it was lobbied by feminism.
Listen.
Here's where. Let me put this together right quick. Hold that thought, man. Put this together right quick. All right, you are a housewife. You married your husband. There's nothing for you. You don't have no skills. You can't go to work. Nobody's going to hire you. You have nothing. Okay. So a system has to be put in place to support you meanwhile. Okay. And that is welfare, child support, alimony. All right. Coming from the government. And who lobbied for this? Who said, hey, look, we don't have nothing. We slaves. Yeah. Okay. We don't need a man. This is feminist doctrine. All right. Feminist doctrine, don't get it mixed up, is anti-family. Why do you think we hear stuff nowadays saying, I don't need a man? To the left. Okay. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't cutting it, then you out of here because we don't need you no more. That's feminist doctrine. This did not exist. This was only budding in the 50s and 60s. And the only reason why Gloria Steinem and all these people in the 60s who say, we're done with the kitchen, we're not cooking for these white men no more, blah, blah, blah. Everybody thought they was crazy. They didn't have any support at all. So who do they incorporate? Who do they recruit? Black women. They say, look, ain't the man the source of all your problems? Yeah, he can't get no job. You know what I'm saying? Racism is stopping him from supporting his family. Really, you don't need no man. Here, we got this government subsidies. Here's some Section 8. Here's some food stamps, all of that. This is bringing in more, but you can't get caught with a man inside the house. Okay? Now, fast forward to now. Females, they have jobs. They make more than us. They don't really have to deal with us if they don't want to. Okay. And they prove that they could be very successful without us even being in the picture. But the culture is go ahead taking a decline. I'm not in the house now with my child. I don't have any kids, but I'm not in the house now to say, because my father told me he took my NWA tape too. He said, man, I used to go up and I used to be like, yeah, boy, like Flavor Flav. And he was like, that's what crackheads do. And he used to smack my hands every time I did that. Okay, that's not in the home right now. I'm not there to say, hey, Future is a drug addict. Why are you singing this dude's song? You don't want to be like that, dude. This path right here. You could do with your family what I did. Okay, that's not in the music nowadays. A lot of other stuff is, and that's because art is imitating music, and music is imitating. I said that. Who are imitating art? Art is imitating people. It's a reciprocal thing. Okay, so we can agree to disagree about the slavery thing, but we were straight in the 50s and 60s, even the 70s. Old school used to tell me, man, we used to go to the park. The girls would bring the food. We used to study. Everything was cold, we smoke a little blah blah blah, and everything was love. But everything is not love now. They don't trust us anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about black women. You know what I'm saying? When they're raising these young boys up, they're disarming us, emasculating us, telling us that purses and pink shirts and acting, putting on a wig and acting like a female on social media is cool and funny. It's not funny, maybe because we old school dudes, you know what I'm saying? That's not a part of us. But this is where the situation, we have a choice now. Obama had a choice. Every successful black man that you ever seen had a choice. He could have picked up a gun. He could have picked up drugs. He could have been a pimp. He could have been a con man. He could have been anything. Okay. It's not somebody over him saying, you better break the law right now. You know what I'm saying? And break the family. We know you're a deadbeat. Happy Father's Day to everybody. We know you're a deadbeat because this is what the institution says about you. And also your very own women are co-signing. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I'm saying, dude. That's why I can't co-sign that. It seems like we got over that, and we stayed together because there was still major racism going on in the 50s. And that's when the height of the civil rights movement was going on. We was together and we overcame that.
Yeah. I get the systems that are put in place to keep that, to hold. I got too many police in the family to not understand everything the legend does at work. I used to work there, so I see the traffic coming in and out of there. And no matter what is placed in front of us, we all have a choice. There's cause and effect. I get it. But today we have way too much access to way too much stuff to not teach our children different.
Right.
If we ain't teaching our children different, then we ain't teaching our children different. So who is it to blame? Whoever's in charge of these children. This is why I always talk about children, because this is where it comes from.
Yeah.
Whoever's in charge of these children are teaching these children or not affording these children the opportunity to do whatever. They're not giving them no information. They're not putting them in a position to do anything other than to whatever they suffering from.
It's a generational thing.
So I understand what slavery did and what it's still doing today. I get it. But like when the Kanye thing came up, where everybody questioned this man's mental stability. I don't care what. It's people that jumped off the daggone boat because they made a choice.
What is slavery?
It's people that's blowing up people, whether
give me one example
it being wrong
that your great grandfathers, fathers went through that is affecting us today that we can't control.
Kanye cooning in front of all those white folks.
Was it really cooning, or did we not understand what Kanye was saying? Now we said on this show slavery was not for 400 years. It was for like 136 or something like that.
Every strange person that I've come across
has been going on since after slavery. But that wasn't slavery. We go to work and we make money now. You know what I'm saying? So I just need a couple examples. One good one would do me that we came because a black man was a president of the United States. I knew when Obama became president, I was like, they can't say it anymore. We went from slaves.
Hold
on. We went from slaves to the leader.
I get that part, but me and you have already talked about conspiracy theory stuff. Now, them putting that man in place to do whatever the heck. Okay, whatever.
He was the leader of America.
But my thing is what it is. If they let me in any type of door, any man of color, any woman of color, that is a position to bring somebody else up and just completely weed out the system. But that's not what's going on. It's a bunch of women and a whole bunch of Atlanta is it's completely embarrassing. As much money flows through Atlanta should be the new Black Wall Street, the whole dag.
But there's nobody.
But that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. A bunch of women took off down there and in the 80s and the 90s. And because of all that opportunity, and it's now till to this day, Superfly comes out, and next week or whatever the heck, it's a bunch of examples of who's ever the primary breadwinner or who's ever in control of whatever, you just can't. I can't believe it. I just can't.
Listen,
I just can't believe it.
The thing about it is
five of the top 1% are black people. I will not believe that to this day we just don't have no foothold on nothing. I just can't believe it.
Well, that's us, and it's
1%. The 1% of the world. 5 of them people are black people.
Yeah,
and it's like 3 women in there. Yeah. So and them 3 women are black.
Yeah.
And they're not just American black, they're some African. So I just can't.
Are you saying that they should be doing more than they've done?
Yeah.
What have they done is the thing. And yes.
This is one of the reasons I don't like Oprah or Michael Jordan. They ain't done nothing. They in a very good position off the backs of a bunch of black folk, and they ain't done nothing to help that. Yeah, they ain't done nothing to help that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And
so whether it's Michael Jordan or Oprah Winfrey or your mama got a 6-figure salary or whatever, and she's raising 5 kids by herself, it is her position, it is her duty to teach these kids better. But that's not what's happening. All I see is little girls twerking and walking the street, and little boys walking the street all at night because of bad decisions that their mamas make.
So are they decisions that they mothers made, or is this media or are they the byproduct?
The media. The media. Here's the thing.
That's my thing.
The media. Hold on, though. The media is the music, is the backdrop, the soundtrack to this. Okay, what we going through, I hear cooking up in the kitchen, cooking up in the crock pot. Yeah, that's I can identify with that. Okay, but here's the thing. You cannot teach your son. You have a son?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You cannot teach your son better than what you were taught. I can't teach you something that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't teach you how to fly a plane. I don't know how to fly a plane.
I can't go with that.
You teach somebody something that you don't know?
There's a bunch of stuff that I do not know, but when it comes to my little one, I have to. I had to beat it into his head that it's a bunch of stuff that I don't know that he need to listen.
Well, here's the thing.
That's part of the thing.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure that I don't know because I don't have any children. So if I needed my child to know something, I would probably try to figure it out. But here we're talking about the majority of.
That's why I believe family is very important, because that's where you get all the stuff that you don't know.
Yeah, but here's the thing: people who are living in poverty in the south side of Chicago, the west side, whatever you want to do, there's a certain way that they figured out how to live under their conditions,
mm-hmm.
and they teach their children this. Okay. There's been many times where we heard at work when we used to do construction. Remember on the west side, they'd be outside. We in there doing rocks and blows. And they would come in there and be like, I wish I knew how to do this stuff. I wish they would hire me. I wish they would, so I wouldn't have to be out here trying to make money and do, because he didn't know. He doesn't have any skills. He doesn't have, and it's basically not cool to be intelligent or be in the know. Okay. With in our culture, period. And this is what this guy is saying right here. Listen, I can identify with this guy wholeheartedly, because when I was hitting the books, when I was nerding out, when I couldn't smoke and drink with everybody and kick it and all of that, I was frowned upon. Okay. It was really, really, really hard for me to get with my own women, because I didn't identify with the rest of the stuff that was going on in my culture. Okay. And
so there weren't any other women who were nerding out as well as you?
Well, I didn't know of. Okay. Because here's the thing. I would get around in circles and try to fit in. And I seen this.
Those women will never step forward and say anything or make themselves even known.
Yeah. Yeah. They be at home drinking wine. So we got to start breaking in their houses. But anyway.
but I would take it that is where you would have wanted her to be anyway, right?
Yeah.
But you can't have access to them. You can't talk to them. But that's not my point. My point is, when you try to cultivate family with your own kind and they don't identify with you, you're ostracized. Have you ever been ostracized? Have you ever been excluded because of some way that you are or who you are? From your own people. No. I've sat around my own people and they sit up there and say, well, man, I was so poor. We only had bread for breakfast. And I was so poor. I didn't grow up like that. So I had to fade into the bushes like this, man. We all have. Oh, man, my daddy drove a Benz. He was an engineer. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then they was like, oh, you grew up, you Ricky Schroeder, you grew up with his, you know what I'm saying? So what I had to learn how to do, and this is long story, way too long, is that I had to get in where I fit in. People who really valued intelligence, I had to get with them. Okay. People who found me attractive because of the things that I was into, I had to get with them. And it wasn't my own people. But then my own people ostracized me for trying to be happy, for trying to be me. Okay. That's all I'm saying. That's what this whole post is saying. How can you sit up here and say, we don't like you, we don't like people with purple shirts on? Okay. And then you go ahead and get with somebody who do like purple shirts. And then you don't love us, you this and that. Donald Glover, Michael B, you should be rocking with us. But hold on, when I just tried to rock with y'all said my purple shirt wasn't cutting it. So how can we sit up here? So what are we supposed to do? You gonna do what you gotta do. You gonna get in where you fit in. Those people who are blessing you like your uncle got blessed, you gonna go, even if it's for a little while. You're gonna go because you want to experience that. And this is why black men date up outside of their race. Now, back in the 50s or 60s or 70s, it was something else because they told us we wasn't nothing. But if we grabbed your queen, that means we something out here. We got to be something. But that's over with. Everything is literal. You can date liberal. You can date anybody you want. Do anything you want to do. Okay? But nowadays, we seem to be, and this we were going to talk about bashing tonight, but we didn't get to that. We never get to the subject. Never. But here's the thing. A lot of guys who identify with that post know that struggle. Why do, and you heard it before, why when black men get rich and then they go get a white girl? Because we remember when we wasn't your type. Okay? When you went around and had babies with Pookie and Ray Ray and all of them, and you told us, you teased us or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then you tried to come back when we start making money. When I made a movie, when I'm in Black Panther, now you upset because I'm dating white women. You know what I'm saying? And that's the hypocrisy that's going on. You have a choice to choose it or not. And it's not just me that went through here. There are thousands. We had 30,000 followers who were identifying with this post right here. Only reason why I brought this to the show tonight is because we never, ever could articulate in this manner. How frustrated can you be, dog, when you get your stuff together? Man, I used to hear females talking about, they never got no jobs. They always got babies all over the place. They just trying to do this, they trying to do that. I was like, man, they never gonna complain about me, man, because I got my job, get my stuff straight. You know what I'm saying? I'm in school, you got the business going, all of that. I got my own place. And then I was like, and it was like, nah, man, you got enough thug in you. You like Star Wars? Yeah, get out of here, nerd. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of perplexing faces going on, bro. What you thinking about right now?
I wanna rock with you, but it's your perception.
No, it's not my perception. These are thousands of guys.
I'm talking specifically you.
I'm representing thousands of guys right now.
And okay,
even over in the UK, not here in America.
That demographics perspective. You're representing that.
Hold on, before you say, hold on, hold that thought. Don't think about it. Okay, I mean, hold that thought. Don't forget about it. Okay, now when you couple this with 80% of black women being single, okay, and you have to think about the reasons why, man. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I want to rock 100% with you. I really do. I don't come across, I am far from a thug. I grew up in a neighborhood around thugs. Never fit in with them, never cared to. I was never ostracized from them. I was not the coolest person. I'm still not.
Come on, man, you're pretty cool.
I'm me.
Yeah.
Whoever I am, I'm me. And I'm okay with that.
But have you ever been rejected by a woman?
Sure.
Okay. On what basis?
Whatever her reason was. If I cared enough, I put in enough energy to get her.
And you got her?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you got it like that?
if
Why didn't you pull Holly Berry, man?
I didn't get to meet her.
Why didn't you meet her, man?
I wanted to, but I didn't get. Really, I wanted Janet. I really wanted Janet. I just didn't get the opportunity to meet her. The night I was going to meet her, my whole mentality was I'm going to impress myself upon her for her to understand that she needed to be with me, if only tonight. Friend got sick, we had to leave, didn't get to meet her.
Dang. Could be having a different conversation right
now. I don't care the woman.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what does that mean?
If she gives me, I do not care the woman.
But that wasn't the point. The point was that women do reject people based off of things. That's my only point right there. Doesn't matter what things.
Women reject people based off of whatever pain she's been through in her life over the things she wants types in her life. It's not.
They have things that they like about men, right? And if you don't have them, they're not rocking with you, right?
Yeah, the science I grew under does not feed to this. And
so you don't believe women are the chooser?
Anyone you ever wanted, you could have had.
She had to choose you.
Any whether you call it her choosing you or not, any woman you ever wanted in life, you could have had.
Is there a woman? Is there a woman? No.
Are you married?
No. Is there a woman that you want right now?
Under your control.
Is there a woman that you want right now?
Not that I can't have.
No. The question is there a woman that you want right now? Why aren't you with her? Why aren't you cultivating family with her right now?
Right
Why
now,
isn't Lisa Ray right here, right now? Is what I'm trying to get at.
That ain't a real good example.
But the thing about it is, if Lisa Ray is available and I'm presented with the opportunity in front of her, if I want her, we're going to battle. We're going, but for whatever
she
reason,
has to choose that.
For whatever reason, her first option would be no. I welcome the no.
Choice.
Wait, you said you can get her.
And
what is the no for?
I grew up in my early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Me going inside of a club, the whole environment for me was, okay, let's see if I can find someone I would like to date. I welcome a woman turning me down, even if it was for a dance.
But you just said you can get any of them.
It doesn't mean that just because someone tells me no does not mean no.
No, erase that part.
No means no.
No means no. Man.
And after that, it becomes a game. It becomes.
And I will admit, like you're speaking in the context of sexual activity. If a woman tells you no,
when you meet a woman, there ain't nothing but a sexual attraction. You don't know how smart that woman is.
I said sexual activity. We're speaking
that's what I'm talking about.
Towards sexual acts.
When you see a person of the opposite sex that you are attracted to,
does not want to have sex and she says no, that's gospel. What I'm saying is this: would you like to dance? Can I have your phone number? I would like to take you out on a date. Or any one of these introductory greetings.
All sexual.
Okay. Hold on.
And again, I have no problem with that. I'm not disagreeing with you, is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. I'm not interested. All I'm looking for after that point is 15 minutes of conversation. All I'm looking for is 15 minutes of conversation. And if in that time I can impress myself upon you enough, you'll probably be changing your mind. So you telling me no.
Well, again, that's a choice. Like I just said, she making a choice.
Yeah, the woman has the ultimate say so whether she rock with you or not, man.
And I'm not disagreeing.
You could be as confident as you want to, but what's gonna happen is whatever she wants to happen, and that's a lot of people don't understand that. Even a lot of females don't understand the power of their choice.
If it was left up to me, Janet Jackson, Tandy Newton, Lisa Ray.
You can't have Tandy
Yes,
Newton,
I can, sir.
I'll put you on Tandy Newton.
Yes, I can.
He's telling you, You listen to him, he's going to tell you no, because she's either out of your league or she's out of the.
No, because I want her, man.
That's not what I'm saying. What
you
I'm
don't
saying,
deal with skinny women.
What I'm saying is, if it's left up to me, I would have 42 million concubines, but it ain't left up to me. Yeah. What I'm saying is,
but what you're doing is
ultimately
you're
the woman's choice.
You're limiting yourself.
I'm not limiting
yourself. You can shoot at them all you want to.
I shoot
at whoever they want to happen is what's gonna happen. It don't care. It don't matter what we want.
And after that, it becomes a game to me that I refuse to play.
And we're gonna have to kick it out.
I'm under another this. I'm under another.
No, I want to see this.
I'm under another faction.
I understand what you're saying. I understand that.
I'm under another faction.
I get that faction.
At this, not even trying, not even in pursuit. You didn't get
nobody then. There's nobody you've seen that you want that you can get. I mean, by the way you're talking, everybody's fair game.
Sure,
go get them. What's wrong? So hold up, you ain't ready yet? You still on this BS?
They got to make the choice. No. They got to make the choice to say, okay.
My choice at this time was to focus on my children and my relationship with my children.
You can't do them both? A lot of people focus on their children and their relationship.
I could if it was my interest. It's just not my interest.
So just say you're not doing that
before then.
Just say I'm not doing that right
before
now.
Then.
I'm still on that BS. Go ahead.
No, it's not about
before
BS.
Then, because this happens every day. Before then. A woman has to say, okay, I don't care if you like to chase. I don't care if you a pimp by heart. I don't care about none of that.
It has nothing to do with none of that. It has nothing to do with none of that.
I'm completely agreeing with you. All I'm saying is a woman has to make a decision who she lets into her life under any and all circumstances.
Sure.
After that, it's a game or rape.
Sure.
So as a result of that, we have the product of these children that are running around today because of the decision from women.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't care.
Disagree.
I don't care.
We don't agree to disagree.
I don't care what
because
I don't care to disagree about that.
But wait. I don't care what log was on your neck, boot heel, any of that stuff. You are able to make a choice. I don't care if you're scared, you don't want to die, any of that. You are able to make a choice.
But in saying that, all you're saying is these kids have options out here outside of their scope.
The children are children. They don't know nothing but what you give them.
They do. They don't have anybody
what they see.
Them. But you're saying they have options and they do not know of all these the dynamics of the options that they have. That's what you're correct. That's what you're saying.
You're correct.
In regards to these women rearing kids right now, though, that was systematic. That wasn't these women making these decisions.
Who made it for them?
These women didn't make these decisions for them. You said yourself, white women trying to get their just due brought them in and sold them their bag of goods in order for them to get what they want.
Yeah, they made a choice to go in. They was like, this sounds like a deal for me.
System it is.
All right, we got to wrap it up, brother.
It don't matter what system it is. Somebody got to make a choice.
Wrap it up. Hey, yo, man.
Somebody got to make a
fabulous show, and we did not give me these back. Y'all don't believe in topics. All right.
I'm going to keep it so I can read through it again. And
we'll be back here next Thursday, everybody. Yeah. All right. You know, I got it.
Yeah, you should have knew something. You should have knew my old heads when you were coming in. You could have stayed in your books, and the minute you got what you felt you needed in place. Come on.
That's what's up. Yo, make sure that y'all follow Black Men Vent on Twitter, and that's at Black Men Vent. Make sure you like us on Black Men Vent TV on Facebook. Make sure you donate to patreon.com/Black Men Vent. All right. Make sure that you check out
J-Spot Radio on YouTube.
The J-Spot Radio on YouTube. Also here at IntellectualRadio.com. All right. Make sure that you check us out on our Twitter. We go live all the time with all the topics. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll holler next week. Peace.